Punters Club podcast. Ben Travers, James Frayne, providing you all the winners for the weekend. Unlike last week, we had more seconds than a fat man at a bloody buffet. Frayno, welcome back. Good Soys was your best last week, and at the top of the straight, I thought this bloke's fucking tipped a winner on his first podcast, and over the top comes some other fucking thing and completely blows us out. How are you, mate?
I'm good. I would have been better if it had have held on in those last sort of 50 metres and got the job done. I had a mate who was in the punters ring at Doomben, and he told me he went the early crow. He thought I'd got it done and we were going to be home and hosed. But, not to be. But there's always this week.
We'll need his name because he's fucked it for us.
David Watts.
Thanks, Dave. Go ahead, mate. I just changed the view on where we record these things. I'm not sure whether I stuffed that for the first minute. I don't really care if we did. So everyone could see everyone. So fuck you, Watsy. Good on you, mate. Hope you're well. But yeah, early crow, no good. So this week, and for me, it was, I didn't go the early crow, but baller rattled home. It was like fives into about 270, minus a few scratchings. But I never really got the heart rate going. I never really thought it was going to win. So that's all right. That's why God invented racing every week, and we'll go again this week and find a few winners. On the rugby front, you tipped that the All Blacks would win by more than 30 points, which they did. They absolutely destroyed the Argentinians, the Pumas, and we'll get into a quick Wallaby selection later in the show, but I think the same thing will happen this week as well. Spoiler alert. Righto, Frayno. First off, let's go to Sydney for a couple of bets this weekend. Let's find a few winners. I'm so excited. I am going to start in Sydney. Have you got anything? I haven't even asked you pre-show.
I've only got one in Sydney, and it's a horse that's been. Well, it's a horse that's been racing in Brisbane that's going down to Sydney. We saw last week in the staying race, one of the horses.
He runs away.
He runs away. Yep. Hadn't won for about 2 years. Won a couple on the trot up here. Went down to the Sydney Metro meeting and got up. I think another Waller runner, Prospectus, that's been running pretty good up here. Top weight, it's got a fair bit of weight to carry, but it's been in really good form. It raced at Newcastle, I think, 2 weeks ago and ran fourth. I think at $14, you're going to have a bit of value there. So go each way.
That's
the only one that...
Yeah, so race 4, number 1, Prospectus. That's huge. Bowman on board. For the uneducated, huge, used to ride the beautiful mare Winks, God bless her. That's a wide open race, that one. So $14, you're right, it's a very good price. A little bit of a nibble early on play up. I think it's 15s into 14s. So Huey Bowman hopefully can. I don't think he's won many races lately, old Huey.
No, he hasn't been a great month for him since that suspension.
Yeah, you're right. When he I think he might have killed a horse. But he'll be trying to fill the Christmas stocking, no doubt. So race 4, number 1, Prospectus for Frayno. I've got 2, Frayne. Next race, same trainer. Race 5 in Sydney. It's down the bottom somewhere. Number 10, I backed this last start. Big Boy Roy. It won, I think it was at the provincial meeting that was actually a Saturday Metro meeting at Newcastle. J-Mac ran it this day. This week it gets Karen McAvoy, barrier 3, 53 kilos. Comes up about $4. I think it's a very good horse and it's very well weighted here. So at around the $4 mark, really happy to play on Big Boy Roy at the 1400 metres, race 5 at Rose Hill on Saturday. And the other one in Sydney for me, and I'd really like this one each way. And I always get a bit excited when I tip an each way horse. And I only really back at the wing. And that's race 8, number 3. And I might be talking through my belly, but Sausage. It's not sausage, but Sausage. You wouldn't normally go to a race at Rose Hill and think, a horse that flashed home at Gundagai last start is a good chance. But this thing was held up so terribly in a really good race at Gundagai. I forget what it was, but flashed home. Rachel King, barrier 6, $15 odd into 9 already, so we've missed a bit of the price there. But again, a really open race. I think there's good speed on it. Sausage over the 1350 will sit back and hopefully come over the top of them and win at about the $19 mark in Sydney. Melbourne racing this weekend's at Pakenham for the Pakenham Cup. I haven't actually really had a good look at the Pakenham Cup. I've got a couple at Pakenham, Frayno. What have you got in Melbourne for us this week?
I'm steering clear of Melbourne. I had a look and there were a couple where I was like, yeah, and then just went, nah, you know what? I've got a few like, you know, a decent odds in Doomben, so maybe I need to be a bit vigilant with where I'm spending my cash.
Yeah, that's probably why you're richer than most. I'm going to go. Everyone else can listen to the degenerate gambler and me. I've got two, and in fact, I've got my best bet of the day in the last. But I'll start at race 6 in Pakenham. So I don't think I've got an early bet on the card at any venue during the day. So if you're inclined to go out and have a few afternoon beers, do that. Get back by about 3 o'clock, or just watch it on your phone, whatever you tend to do. But at race 6, number 1, I'm backing William Thomas, which is a horse that probably everyone's backed in their lifetime. Drawn to get a good run, gets the 3 kilo claiming apprentice will price on. So it'll carry only 59 kilos. And at $8, I think it's just like a really a far superior horse to anything else in the field. So I like William Thomas, particularly on a good track on Saturday. That's race 6, Pakenham. And the other one, which it's currently rated a soft 5, the Pakenham track. If it stays at a soft 5, I probably won't back either of these two bets. Just a little disclaimer there, but I think the weather in Melbourne's okay, so we should be fine. But race 9, Pakenham, my best bet of the day, which was up on the Inside Feed website today, is race 9, number 11, Score, which goes around at $7. Like if that wins, I'll be nude. Everyone else who backs it will be nude. Gets Nashville Willer. He's down in Melbourne riding this weekend. Yep. COVID's over, so people can fly.
Big addition.
Huge.
Big addition.
Huge. Really strong rider. Hopefully this horse is sort of 3 deep with a bit of cover. Last start, sort of hemmed away on the rail, got clear late, motored. Really nice run. Second in the Bendigo Guineas, this horse to, I think, Riddle Me That not too long ago. Very good horse. I think it'll get the chocolates. And around $7, I think it's a very good bet. I was tossing up between it and one other one in Doomben for the best of the weekend, and just given the odds, I've gone with Score. So race 6 at Pakenham, I like the top weight William Thomas, and in race 9, the best of the day for me, number 11, Score at $7. Now, Frano, I can see you getting excited. I'll throw the microphone, so to speak, over to you for a couple of selections in Brisbane on Saturday at Doomben for racing in Brisbane.
But before I get into it, have you got any in Doomben that you like? I want to make sure.
I do, and because we don't prepare very well for these podcasts, we haven't compared notes, so we might be going head to head here.
I think we will be.
I'm not touching anything until race 6. So if you've got anything in the early races,
that's where I'm kicking off too.
All right,
we're going head to head. We got the Quinella at least for the listeners.
All right, we might have a big head-to-head play here. Well, you can start us off, and then I'll tell you where you're wrong.
I'm going with Seen Too Many at each way odds of $23 and $5.50 currently.
Right, that's race 6.
Race 6, number 11.
Seen Too Many. Sure.
On the quick backup, race last week, I think it finished about second or third last. So on that form line, it's not anything to go off, but it actually tried for a rails run, and it was bolting, and then it just got no room. And I think Brad Stewart was on it, and he just sort of pulled it up because he had nowhere to go. Pretty rare that trainer Michael Costa would back one up like this, but he's currently got a strike rate at 27%. Costa, so he's flying. Stable's flying, and I think it's just well weighted. Gets Jim Byrne. Not the best alley, but at $23 and $5.50, I'm willing to have a bit of a throw at the stumps there.
Huge, $23. Yeah, Jay Byrne, a big engagement. They fucked Brad Stewart off. He's riding Magnifier in the race. I probably watched the race, but I can't recall what happened in that run. But obviously, he's been turfed. You're right. Costa Stable doesn't back them up too often, so she might be going well. This, I think it's a mare. Yes, it's a brown mare. So $23 from Jay Frayne. I've got a bet in the same race. And my bet is with the Golan stable. And that's number 4, Get Stuck In. Third up from a spell, this horse is 4 wins from 4 starts. And it gets third up on Saturday. Ryan Maloney, barrier 1. Tough on speed run last start. The form guide says 7th, but there was a head between sort of 4th and 7th. So I like it up to the trip of 2,000 meters. So I'm on Get Stuck In. So we're head to head there. Get Stuck In versus Seen Too Many.
Bit of money for it.
bit of money. Yeah, I think we're about 11's into about 9's on play up. So a bit of money, which I don't mind at all. So one head-to-head there in Brisbane. What's your next at Doomben, mate?
Next race, also in the quaddie, race 7, Shadow of Time. Beaten last start, an absolute pimple in a photo. So it was a bit of a heartbreaker. It just got taken on speed from literally barrier to the finish line, and at the 200 looked like it was gonna get it done, sort of kick clear, but then just had Great Keppel, who's about half the price in this race, just sort of launch out of the pack after getting a lot more smoother run in transit. So I'm with that. Michael Carl, barrier 7, should give us a good watch at about $10. Another each way play.
God, if you multi these, we'll never see you again.
Yeah, it'll be the wow.
Yeah, you're right. It meets Great Keppel better at the weights, draws better. You're right. Great Keppel's about half its price. So and a little bit of money already for Shadow of Time, which is nice. So that's race 7, number 11 for the Frayne train, Shadow of Time in Brisbane. Now, race 8. Have you got anything? Are you going to go through the whole quaddie, or are you staying?
Yeah, I've got one for each in the each race.
Here we go. Here we go.
So this one, I really like this one, and I think you really like another horse in this race as well. But I'm gonna have another each way play at Deep Image, about $11 at the moment. It finally draws a barrier. Check this out for its last 5 or 6 barriers: 16 out of 16, 14 out of 14, 16 out of 18, 10 out of 13, and 7 out of 10. So it's got barrier 1 now. It's literally been paying rent to the car park attendants at Doomben for the last however long. Stays at 1,200 meters, which is exactly what it should be doing after the last run. Just sort of being first up and sort of tiring in that last sort of 50, 100 meters last start, where it came second. I think it's a great price at $11.350. Gets Michael Carl as well. So it'll be given a good sight. Hopefully he can get a nice run in transit, make the Odyssey work hard to cross it, and then sit on its back.
Very good bet. They actually, the Heathcote stable thought as much of it to take it to Sydney for one of the features. I can't remember.
Yeah.
I don't think it ran that well, but I mean, if Rob Heathcote's got an opinion of one, then you need to respect it. So race 8, the George Moore Stakes, number 1, Deep Image. I'm right against you again, because I think this is near enough to a good thing, which is the favourite in the George Moore Stakes, number 8, Jonker. If it does what it did last start, I think there's no betting, because it broke the track record at Doomben. That day we were on Nick and Over to flash home and win a race, and Nick and Over finished about 425 metres behind it and finished about 5th. Jonker pinged the lids, went to the front and stayed there. I agree, the Odyssey might try and cross Jonker, but I think Jonker will kick up in the lead. There should be a bit of tempo, but even if it wants to sit off the speed, I think Jonker can sit in behind. Jay Byrne, T. Golan. It's about the 280 mark. I think it's a very good Quinella for Jonker and Deep Image. So I think Deep Image will actually follow Jonker through. I think the Odyssey will be outside the leader. So I agree with you somewhat in that. So I'll be backing race 8, number 8, 88, Lucky 8s, Jonker to turn over or to beat Deep Image. So we're head-to-head again. And I think that might be the case in the last as well, because you're shopping around for some value. So let's go to race 9 at Doomben, the last of the bets for the day. What have you got?
Well, all respect with Isotope. I thought it was incredibly unlucky last start, but there's one that if you're playing a quaddie, don't take Isotope 1 out. Throw Fleet Dove in there and maybe have a bit on it each way. Never miss the Quinella in 5 starts. It's got good form, goes good on all surfaces. The barrier's a bit ordinary with barrier 11, but hopefully Jim Byrne, who is featuring heavily in, I think, both of our tips. So if he has a good day, we're having a good day. Hopefully he can, hopefully he can navigate the tricky alley, and let's hope Isotope bombs the start again and is 4 or 5 legs off them when they come out. So,
yeah. Again, I respect Fleet Dove, but again, I think every punter and maybe their wives and their pets will be on Isotope to win the last in Brisbane on Saturday. Race 9, number 7, Isotope. Bombed the start first up and ran home well behind a good one. I think it was Goldsborough. I think here Dusty Tycoon will cross and lead. Isotope will sit third the fence. I think Got a Kiss will go forward. There's actually a bit of tempo. It will only require Ryan Maloney to get a split at some point, and Isotope will be winning. It's got form around Brothfire.
It's a good race.
It's a very good race. It's such a good race.
There's a lot of good
finish.
three-year-old fillies up here in racing at the moment. So it'll be really interesting to see how these horses sort of carry on throughout the rest of the summer carnival, because there's some good horses that could maybe feature in the autumn down in Sydney or
some of them might be getting ready for the Magic year. Millions potentially. Like Pareto, good horse. Plutocrat, very good horse. Dusty Tycoon, Got a Kiss, we mentioned. But I think all things being equal, if Isotope doesn't bomb the start, it will be chips in from everyone, and I think it'll jump about $1.80, not $2.10 or thereabouts what you're getting at the moment. So for Frayne Train, race 9, Doomba, number 5, probably on the each way, Fleet Dove, because it does draw a bit tricky, but it gets Jim Byrne. I am backing the favourite Isotope in the last to win, and if we're losing, hopefully it gets us out. If we're winning, hopefully it tops us up and the stocking's full for Christmas. That's racing for the weekend. The other thing on the weekend, I don't think there's much else outside of the Wallabies. A quick market on the Wallabies I had somewhere here. The Wallabies versus the Pumas on Saturday night. $1.13 Australia with play up $5.90 Argentina. Frayne Train, I think the Pumas are halfway on the plane already, so I think they're fucked.
Yeah, I think I'm kind of kicking myself. I didn't get on the line and all the Wallabies as soon as that sort of news broke about a few of the captains and senior players who aren't going to play this week, because I think you could get a little bit better on the line, maybe 4 or 5 points, and I think Australia are about $1.35, $1.40. So that's dialed right in. I think Australia will win. I'm going to go with what I said last week. I think Australia will win by 30 plus. It'll be, James O'Connor's back. I think, like last week, Pumas will be in it for the first sort of 40, 50, 60 minutes, and then what did they concede? 4 or 5 tries in the last 20 minutes last week, something like that. I think it'll be more of the same. I think the Wallabies will be pretty fired up to finish off what's been a sort of decent year, given all things considered. They'll be fired up to finish off well, finish strong.
I agree. Something I failed to mention, your shirt's fantastic tonight.
Thanks.
But I agree. I don't know about 30 plus. I think O'Connor coming back, he's fantastic. Might be a bit clunky early, just getting those combinations back. So I reckon the Wallabies, 13 plus $1.72 is where I'll be betting. I don't know if they'll get to 30, but 13 plus $1.72 is where I'll have my money on Saturday night. And then I'm sure the Wallabies boys will enjoy many cartons upon cartons afterwards and retreat back to their respective families and friends and enjoy a well-earned break. Frayne Train, that's probably it. We had a bit of feedback from a close friend, T. Maloney from Brisbane, who said that at the end of our podcast, if we could put all the selections from the weekend up on the screen, which we will do. So T. Maloney, you've won a shirt, an Inside Feed shirt valued at $500. Please wear it, because I've given out a lot of fucking merchandise to people who don't wear it, so they're just wasting my money or our money. So that's a good idea. So we'll do that. And hopefully, I think we've found some winners in there. Frayne, what is your best bet for the weekend? If you had to pick one that you had to part all your cash with, what are you going with?
Yeah, it's a good question.
I appreciate it.
Thanks. I'm sticking my neck out. There's nothing there in single figures. So it's a boom or bust sort of week. But if I had to pick one that I'm probably most confident that can win, it would be Shadow of Time. I think it's a wide open race. There's no short price favourite like Deep Images. Full respect to Jonker, and then Isotope. It's a standout in the last for probably a class above Fleet Dove, but I just think it's good value and good shopping there. So Shadow of Time, that's my best.
So shadow of
Give it
time
strength.
for Frayne Train, give it strength in Brisbane, and I'm on score in the last at Pakenham. So we're betting quite late in the day. So if those all of Frayne's selections lob, he won't be here next week. He'll be somewhere overseas, and we'll find a new co-host. But until then, good luck, good punting, gamble responsibly, and gamble with play up because they're good people apparently. Frayne, we'll see you next week.
Thanks very much, Trav.